order. We are returning from a recess and returning to business of the day. I do believe I need a motion or a request to move to particular bills. Senator from Wyndham is recognized.
Thank you, Madam President. At this time, I ask that we take up for third reading S-220.
Senator asked that we move to S-220, which we will now do. We have for third reading S-220, an act relating to state paid deputy sheriffs. Third reading was ordered on March 24th. Are there any amendments before third reading? Please listen to the third reading of S-220.
S-220, an act relating to state paid deputy sheriffs.
Heard the third reading. The question is, shall the bill pass? Are you ready for the question? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, nay. Ayes have it, and you've passed S-220. We have on the calendar for Senator from Wyndham is recognized.
Thank you, Madam President. At this moment, I would like to take up H-722 and place it in all remaining stages of passage.
The Senator from Wyndham has moved that H-722, an act relating to final reapportionment of the House of Representatives, be placed in all remaining stages of passage. Are you ready for the question? All those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Those opposed, nay. Ayes have it, and you've suspended the rules and placed H-722 in all remaining stages of passage. We now have on the calendar for third reading H-722. Third reading was just ordered. Are there any amendments before third reading? Please listen to the third reading of H-722.
H-722, an act relating to final reapportionment of the House of Representatives.
The question is, shall the bill pass? Are you ready for the question? All those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Those opposed, nay. The ayes have it, and you've passed H-722. The Senator from Wyndham is recognized.
Thank you, Madam President. At this time, I ask that the rules be suspended and we message our actions on H-722.
The Senator from Wyndham has moved that the rules be suspended and H-722, an act relating to final reapportionment of the House of Representatives, be messaged to the House forthwith. Are you ready for the question? All those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Those opposed, nay. The ayes have it, and you've suspended the rules and messaged H-722 to the House forthwith. The Senator from Wyndham is recognized.
Point of inquiry, Madam President. Do we need to move out of the orders of the day before we can do judicial appointments?
We would normally do them at the end, but we could take them now. It's fine.
I'm waiting for a particular senator who has an amendment on H-234, so I'd like to do judicial appointments at this point. Thank you.
Okay. We have an appointment reported out of committee for confirmation.
Madam President, if we could pick up the appointment of Judge Waples first. Thank you.
This is the appointment of Nancy J. Waples of Hinesburg as Associate Justice of the Supreme Court. Term including March 31st, 2023, until a successor is appointed and is qualified. I just want to confirm with the secretary. Okay. Thank you. The question is, shall the appointment of Nancy J. Waples as Associate Justice of the Supreme Court be confirmed by the Senate? The senator from Windsor, Senator Nitka, is recognized for the report.
Madam President, Governor Hillside has nominated Judge Nancy Waples, who is presently serving as a Superior Court judge, to become a justice on the Vermont Supreme Court. Judge Waples' history and background follow that may give you an awareness of why Judge Waples was selected from a group of well-qualified candidates. Judge Waples was born in Toronto, Canada, to Chinese immigrant parents who had fled the Communist Revolution. Due to exclusion laws, that they were unable to emigrate to the United States, which would have been their first choice. When the exclusion laws were lifted, they made their way to New York City and opened a Chinese restaurant. Judge Waples did not become proficient in English until she was 9 years old, and her family could afford to move out of Chinatown. Judge Waples worked at the restaurant in high school, college, went home on vacations, and throughout law school, which she attended in New York City. After law school, she continued to help her parents in all aspects of the business. In 1977, Judge Waples became a United States citizen. It was her first time in a courtroom, and she describes it as an unforgettable experience and one of the proudest moments in her life. She has spent a great deal of time in courtrooms since that day. Judge Waples is a graduate of the College of William and Mary in Virginia, where she was a member of the History Honor Society. She received her law degree in 1987 from St. John's University School of Law in New York. She was admitted to practice law in New York State in 1989, as well as to practice in the U.S. District Court, Southern District of New York, and the United States Court of Appeals. Admission occurred to the U.S. District Court in Vermont in 1993 and to the Vermont Bar in 1999. She has called Vermont home since 1991. Sorry, I ate my lunch here. Judge Waples has spent her career as a trial attorney, appellate attorney, and trial judge. Her experience includes 5 years as an assistant district attorney in Manhattan under Robert Morgenthau, a solo practitioner for 2 years, an associate attorney at Murdoch and Hughes in Burlington for 4 years, an assistant U.S. attorney for the criminal division in Rutland for 2 years, and the private law firm of Hoff Curtis in Burlington, first as an associate, then as director for 5 years of her 9 years working there. She was appointed as a Vermont Superior Court judge in 2015. Judge Waples is currently presiding in criminal court in Rutland, which includes the drug treatment docket. This assignment also has her working a couple of days a week in Caledonia and Addison County as needed. In March of 2020, she was the presiding judge managing the courthouse in Memorial County through the COVID pandemic, starting then. She mentioned in her application of how, with incredible work from the staff there, the court was able to transition to a remote operation following the governor's order, but also to continue most court proceedings. Judge Waples is proud of what was done in that court. Judge Waples' rotations have given her experience in all of the dockets, including mental health. She has heard appeals as well from the Judicial Bureau, Small Claims Court, Magistrate Judge, and the Probate Court. She has not presided in the Environmental Division, but has some familiarity in this area from her service as a member of the Environmental Board from 1999 until her appointment as a U.S. Attorney in 2002. She also served as a member of her local zoning board for 9 years. Judge Waples was asked how many times she had prepared written decisions in contested cases, and her response was thousands, as was her response to oral decisions. She has a very strong work ethic, extensive experience, and is a contributing community member. She has been a volunteer with several nonprofits such as the Vermont Youth Orchestra, Spectrum Youth and Family Services, as well as offering translating services for non-English speaking Chinese. Judge Waples is a member of several committees and commissions related to her professional work, as well as teaching at the Judicial College for Lawyers, and she is on the faculty of the Cardozo School of Law. She serves on the Judiciary Criminal Oversight Committee, the Judiciary Access to Language in the Courts Committee, the Attorney General's Racial Disparities Panel, the Governor's Racial Equity Advisory Panel, and the Judicial Conduct Board, which judges lawyers when a complaint is filed against them. Judge Waples is married to an assistant U.S. attorney, and the family may be cornering the market as both of their sons are in law school. Judge Waples' mother gave her some sage advice that only a mother could give to a judge when she was appointed to the Superior Court. It was basically, now don't let this go to your head. Remember, you are here to serve the people. The vote in our committee was 5-0-0 to confirm Judge Waples to become Justice Waples. We hope you will concur. Madam President, that completes my report.
The question is on the appointment of Judge Nancy Waples of Hinesburg as Associate Justice of the Vermont Supreme Court be confirmed by the Senate. Are you ready for the question?
Roll call.
The senator from Windham has requested a roll call vote. Are you ready for the question? The secretary is kindly asked to call the roll.
Senator Ballant,
Yes.
Senator Baruth,
Yes.
Senator Benning, Senator Bray,
Yes.
Senator Brock,
Yes.
Senator Campion,
Yes.
Senator Chittenden,
Yes.
Senator Clarkson,
Yes.
Senator Collmore,
Yes.
Senator Cummings,
Yes.
Senator Hardy,
Yes.
Senator Hooker,
Yes.
Senator Ingalls,
Yes.
Senator Kitchell, Senator Lyons,
Yes.
Senator McDonald,
Yes.
Senator Mazza,
Yes.
Senator McCormack,
Yes.
Senator Nitka,
Yes.
Senator Parent,
Yes.
Senator Pearson,
Yes.
Senator Perschlick,
Yes.
Senator Polina,
Yes.
Senator Rom Hinsdale,
Yes.
Senator Sears, Senator Sorotkin,
Yes.
Senator Starr,
Yes.
Senator Terenzini, Senator Westman,
Yes.
Senator White,
Yes.
Senator Benning, Senator Sears, Senator Terenzini,
Please listen to the results of your vote. The ayes have it, and you've confirmed the appointment of yeas at 27 and nays at 0 of Judge Nancy Waples as Associate Justice of the Vermont Supreme Court. Okay, we have another confirmation or appointment to take up at this time. This is the appointment of Justice Patrick Jiron of Underhill as Superior Court Judge. The question is, shall the appointment of Justice Jiron be confirmed as Superior Court Judge by the Senate? The senator from Chittenden, Senator Baruth, is recognized.
Thank you, Madam President. I rise to speak to the nomination of Justin Patrick Jiron, resident of Underhill, which I believe places him in the Chittenden Southeast Senate District. Justin Patrick Jiron graduated from UVM in 1991 with a BA, and from there to Albany Law School in 1999. In between, he served several years with the Army. He has spent the bulk of his time in the last 20 years in the Chittenden County State's Attorney's Office. He is currently Chief Deputy State's Attorney in that office. And by his own estimate, over the last 10 years, he's participated in 20 jury trials and up to 200 evidentiary hearings. So he is a highly experienced deputy state's attorney and one who would bring that experience to the Superior Court. If I could, Madam President, I would just read a bit from his self-description.
You may.
He says of himself, "I believe my temperament and my experience as a prosecutor make me well qualified to be a Superior Court judge. I am calm, patient, and thoughtful. I take time to consider the facts before making a judgment. I am not prone to panic or impulsivity. I believe people who have worked with me would say I am polite, kind, and respectful, regardless of whether we agree on an issue." Your Committee on Judiciary found that to be the case with the man who would now be Judge Jiron. And we heard from several people who have worked with him over the years who corroborated that. The last thing I will mention is that Senator Benning, who also has reason to work with Judge Jiron, says that he can personally speak to the not panicking. The judge is back in an office that has been closed and is seeing a big backlog of cases. And Justin Patrick Jiron has been a calm and reasonable force so far in trying to deal with that backlog. So, Madam President, we were 5-0-0 in support of this nomination, and we ask the body's support.
The question is, shall the appointment of Justice Patrick Jiron of Underhill as judge of the Vermont Superior Court be confirmed by the Senate? Are you ready for the question?
Roll call, please.
The senator from Rutland has requested a roll call vote. Are you ready for the question? The secretary is kindly asked to call the roll.
Senator Ballant.
Yes.
Senator Baruch.
Yes.
Senator Benning. Senator Bray.
Yes.
Senator Brock.
Yes.
Senator Campion.
Yes.
Senator Chittenden.
Yes.
Senator Clarkson.
Yes.
Senator Collmore.
Yes.
Senator Cummings.
Yes.
Senator Hardy.
Yes.
Senator Hooker.
Yes.
Senator Ingalls.
Yes.
Senator Kitchell. Senator Lyons.
Yes.
Senator McDonald.
Yes.
Senator Mazza.
Yes.
Senator McCormack.
Yes.
Senator Nitka.
Yes.
Senator Parent.
Yes.
Senator Pearson.
Yes.
Senator Perschlick.
Yes.
Senator Polina.
Yes.
Senator Ram Hinsdale.
Yes.
Senator Sears. Senator Sirotkin.
Yes.
Senator Starr.
Yes.
Senator Terenzini. Senator Westman.
Yes.
Senator White.
Yes.
Senator Benning. Senator Sears. Senator Terenzini.
Please listen to the result of your vote. The yeas 27, the nays 0, and you've confirmed Justin Patrick Jiron as judge of the Vermont Superior Court. The senator from Windham is recognized.
Thank you, Madam President. This time I ask that we take up S-234 for consideration.
We have on the calendar for third reading, S-234, an act relating to changes to Act. Third reading was ordered on March 24th. Are there any amendments before third reading? We will begin with the senator from Franklin, Senator Brock.
Thank you, Madam President. I do have an amendment, and the amendment appears in today's calendar on page 2066. This particular amendment strikes out section 11 of the bill. Section 11 of the bill is contained, if you'd like to look at it, on yesterday's calendar. On page, at the bottom of page 1895. And this particular provision deals with the so-called road rule. And what this provision does is it adds to the definition of development the construction of any road or driveway that is greater than 800 feet in length, provide access to a tract of land of more than 1 acre owned or controlled by an individual. Essentially, this is a driveway. And this is a significant expansion of the idea of what a development is for Act 250. But what it says is that you can indeed be snailed or ensnarled by Act 250 when you're building a single-family home on your own land if your driveway is too long.
Bless you.
This is a significant expansion. Expansion of scope. And there are concerns about what this means to, again, that separation between rural and urban in Vermont. People talk about Act 250, and we've heard, I think, in the presentation yesterday, that Act 250, the majority, the vast majority of Act 250 applications are dealt with quite quickly and are approved, and that's true. Of course, if you get into an appeal, and there are appeals, those appeals, the average length of time for an appeal is over 300 days. And some would argue that it's not that hard to appeal an Act 250 permit, although admittedly it happens in only a small number of cases. But even as we look at the amount of time it takes to deal with an Act 250 claim or an Act 250 application, what's missing from that is, although that time is short, the amount of time that's necessary to prepare for it is long. You can describe Act 250 as sometimes referred to as the Permanent Employment Act for attorneys and engineers. And I think it was mentioned, certainly it's been mentioned even in committee, as I spoke to a committee today, that most people who file applications for Act 250 do everything they possibly can to avoid doing so. It's like dealing with Jell-O that is covered with WD-40 and adhesive tape. It's difficult, it's time-consuming, it's aggravating, it's frustrating, and people don't want to do it and will try to do everything they can to avoid it. And so you ask yourself today why we would be adding this to the construction of a single-family home on one's own land. And this is something that obviously affects rural Vermonters and not urban Vermonters. And some would say, well, if you put in a single-family home, it could disrupt the wildlife in an area the size of Texas. And any of us who live in rural areas know that that just simply isn't the case. In fact, even if you have on your land a Class 4 road, which is not uncommon in Vermont, you can't use that as a driveway, prepare it as a driveway, do anything to it as a driveway without, again, it falling under the aegis of Act 250. And that's the purpose of this, is to say this is something that we shouldn't go that far, particularly in a bill that of this nature that's supposed to be, in effect, a minimal correction or tweaking of Act 250. This is a major change. And this particular bill, by striking this section, may well be something you come back to at a later date to discuss in more detail, but at this time, and particularly in a place in which we are desperately short of housing, this is one more thing to add to that crate of things that we have that are making it more difficult rather than easier to do something. I recommend and ask for your support in striking Section 11 of this bill. Thank you, Madam President.
The question is, shall the Senate amend the bill as recommended by the Senator from Franklin and others? Are you ready for the question? Senator from Addison is recognized.
Thank you, Madam President. I always enjoy the reports from my colleague from Franklin County because of their colorful language, but in fact, there's just a simple, mundane set of facts that I want to make sure we all review together from Act 250. So yesterday I was citing the fact that most applications, as in 80%, are approved within 90, with 90 days or less. Then appeals was brought out before us. So how much of a threat is this to applications? In 442 applications processed last year, 6% went on to an appeal of some level or another. So that's a 1.3% rate at which appeals are heard. So I would urge members to look at the 98.7% that went unappealed and were issued in a timely manner in a system that issues 99% of the permits brought before it. And to get to the housing issues, the bill itself is rich in supporting housing provisions. Housing that's going to address our housing crisis is going to be happening in much larger numbers and in more concentrated ways, such as priority housing projects that we support in the bill, than long driveways to single homes, likely in remote areas. But most importantly of all is the impact on forests. So this committee, this body in 2014 was considering the same issue and requested of the Commissioner of Forest Parks and Recreation an analysis on the state of forest fragmentation in Vermont. And I would like to read, Madam President, briefly from that report.
You may.
So in talking about what happens when you fragment forests, which is precisely what happens when you puncture a forest block by pushing in a long road, for instance, the commissioner writes that, put differently, the negative habitat impact effects of each residential building pocket within a forest radiate outward, affecting up to 30 additional acres with increased disturbance, predation, and competition from edge dwellers. Small patches of forest, or those portions of land that are largely fragmented, run a higher risk of shifting towards edge-adapted and invasive species, and this triggers a cascade of ill effects on the health, growth, and survivability of trees, flowers, ferns, and lichens, and an array of secondary effects on the animals that depend on them. The fragmentation of Vermont forests presents a significant threat to the operability and economic viability also of the forest products economy. As forests fragment, become ever smaller, practicing forestry within them becomes operationally impractical, economically non-viable, and culturally unacceptable. So that is from the commissioner's report. There was a question yesterday also about the effect of a dry road, and I'd like to read briefly, if I may, from a research paper.
You may.
So that paper is the review of ecological effects of roads on terrestrial and aquatic communities, authored by Steve Trombilac. Steve Trombilac is a member of the Department of Biology at Middlebury College. And I will read just briefly from the abstract. Roads of all kinds have 7 general effects: mortality from road construction, mortality from collision with vehicles, modification of animal behavior, alteration of the physical environment, alteration of the chemical environment, spread of exotics, and increased use of areas by humans. Road construction kills sessile and slow-moving organisms, injures organisms adjacent to the road, and alters the physical conditions beneath the road. Skip ahead a little bit. Mitigation measures to reduce roadkill have been only partially successful. Roads alter animal behavior by causing changes in home ranges, movement, reproductive success, escape response, and physiological state. Roads change soil density, temperature, soil water content, light levels, dust, surface waters, patterns of runoff and sedimentation, as well as heavy metals, especially lead, salts, organic molecules, ozone, and nutrients to roadside environments. So I will stop there. The effects of roads, although subtle and mostly invisible to the human eye, are profound on them as adequate and healthy environments. it's also occurring one of the difficulties in our work as a committee. For every other committee, I believe, there are constituents who can show up in committee and provide direct testimony. Who shows up in the building to speak for wildlife, trees, plants, et cetera? That they can't come to us with stories. And so we need to learn more about them through scientists. So the Trombiac paper, for instance, I think speaks to the significance of the kinds of impacts imperceptible to many of us, but so the road rule is a modest rule and has to reduce negative impacts of these sorts of intrusions into forest lots. I also want to add something I omitted yesterday, which may bring some comfort to folks. The road rule is not applied to a road constructed for a municipal, county, or state purpose, nor does it apply to a utility corridor of an electric transmission or distribution company, or a road located entirely within a designated downtown or neighborhood development area. Further, a road used primarily for farming or forestry purposes also is not, the road rule does not apply to those as well. I'd like to correct, I think, a remark by the senator offering amendment that I think is somewhat confusing perhaps. And that is that if you have a class 4 road and you choose to use it as your driveway, it is not drawn into the road rule. For that, I would ask that the body defeat the amendment. The committee vote on this was in opposition to the amendment was 4-1-0.
The question is, shall the bill be amended as moved by the senator from Franklin and others? Are you ready for the question? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, nay.
No.
The nays appear to have it. The nays do have it, and you've defeated the amendment. Are there any other amendments before third reading? The senator from Addison is recognized.
Thank you, Madam President. The 5 members of the Senate Natural Resources and Energy Committee are offering an amendment that appears on page 2066. So we had, as other committees are all aware, we've all worked hard to get bills out by crossover. And in that time, since the bill was voted out of committee, we received feedback that there could be a problem with the provision. We took additional testimony since that time. And therefore, we are, and actually the senator from Franklin alluded to it yesterday. And that is perhaps an unintended consequence that appears if you have the original bill yesterday on page 1891. I'll read it in it's brief, and I'll read the entire section. It was, the word development does not include, and there was a list of things. And then we added language that said, notwithstanding any other provision of this chapter, to the contrary, the construction of a priority housing project funded primarily by ARPA money, only if the mixed income housing project to be constructed contains at least 80 units, housing units, with a duration of affordability of not less than 30 years. So our goal was, when we're putting more ARPA money into things, could we have a higher level of performance in terms of affordability, since it's not just a housing crisis that we have, it's an affordable housing crisis. We took the testimony we took from VHCB, which is the primary mechanism being used to bring housing to the market with ARPA money. We learned that when you look at all the housing projects that are ARPA funded and managed through VHCB, and that is 441 units, that 90% of them are affordable. And not only that the affordability covenant is not the 30 years that we were aiming for, which was a stretch over the underlying original default of 15. Theirs are in perpetuity. If you look at their PHP, private housing projects, the rate at which all houses are made affordable, units are made affordable is 76%. And again, that affordability component is in perpetuity. So we realized that the underlying system is actually meeting or outperforming the request, the language we offered, and we wish to withdraw the section. The committee vote on that was, well, there's not a committee vote on it because we offered it as individuals.
Sorry, Senator, I think it was just your mask. You're not asking to withdraw the amendment, or are you?
No, I'm sorry. We're offering amendment.
Okay, just wanted to confirm. I think it's just your mask. The question is, shall the Senate amend the bill as recommended by the senator from Addison and others? Are you ready for the question? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, nay. The ayes have it, and you've amended the bill as recommended by the senator from Addison and others. Are there any further amendments? The senator from Franklin, Senator Parent, is recognized, and I believe there's amendment being distributed.
Thank you, Madam President. I had prepared an amendment and talked with your Committee on Senate Natural Resources this morning to remove sections 7 through 10, which is the force fragmentation language. After watching the results of my colleague from Franklin County's amendment and taking advice from Kenny Rogers, no one to hold them, no one to fold them, no one to walk away, and no one to run, I would ask for leave from the Senate and withdraw my amendment.
Without objection, the amendment actually would. Are there any other amendments? Please listen to the third reading of S 234.
S 234, an act relating to changes to Act 250.
The question is, shall the bill pass as amended? Are you ready for the question? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, nay.
No.
The ayes appear to have it. The ayes do have it, and you've passed S 234. We have on the calendar for third reading, S 287, an act relating to improving student equity by adjusting the school funding formula and providing education quality and funding oversight. Third reading was ordered on March 24th. Are there any amendments before? Please listen to the third reading of S 287.
S 287, an act relating to improving student equity by adjusting the school funding formula and providing education quality and funding oversight.
The question is, shall the bill pass? Are you ready for the question? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, nay. The ayes have it, and you've passed S 287. The senator from Windham is recognized.
Thank you, Madam President. At this time, I ask pending announcement that the Senate stand in adjournment until 9:30 Tuesday, March 29th.
The senator from Windham has moved that subject to any announcements, the Senate do adjourn until Tuesday, March 9th at 9:30. Are there any announcements? Senator from Bennington is recognized.
Thank you, Madam President. Senate Education will meet 5 minutes after the close of the gap.
Senator from Washington is recognized.
Madam President, we are scheduled back to 2:45, so I'm going to ask Senate to follow the gavel.
Senator from Windham is recognized.
Thank you, Madam President. Senate Government Operations Committee is 10 minutes, and I was very happy to not have to announce that reapportionment committee is meeting again.
Are there any additional? Senator from Windsor is recognized.
Institutions will not meet.
Any additional announcements? Hearing none, the senator from Windham has moved the Senate adjourn until Tuesday, March 29th at 9:30 a.m. Are you ready for the question? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, nay. The ayes have it, and the Senate stands